record, and Gore blamed Clinton for his integrity issues, which Clinton apparently really still doesn't understand, because his last words to Al Gore were, "Hey, give me a hand with this couch." Okay. Let's meet our panel. He is the double threat co-host of CNN's Crossfire and the new Spin Room from the left, Mr. Bill Press. Hey. How are you, sir?
Good to see you. Thank you.
Bill Press. All right, the first Hispanic woman elected to Congress. She is the Republican chair of the Subcommittee on the International Economic Policy and Trade, Florida Representative Ileana Ros-Lehtinen. Congresswoman, pleasure to see you again. Thank you. After 10 years in the House of Representatives, she's now serving her second term as Senator from California, Barbara Boxer. Hello, Madam Senator. Good to see you again. And she is an author, actress, inspirational speaker, and one of the brightest lights of country music, and my friend, Naomi Judd. Gorgeous. How you doing?
You know, when I hear you back there, I got these flashes of Lenny Bruce, Mort Saul, Howard Stern. Y'all agree? But actually, you're an original. I think we should dub...
That's what you meant to say.
We should... I will dub you America's Comedy Patriot.
Oh, finish your thought.
You're my favorite person to argue with, other than Winona.
Well, you're going to argue with me about this because they want to do a recount in Florida. I thought I lived through this, but this is now coming from the press. The AP, CNN, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, the Tribune, several Florida papers want to recount the votes and have it be a matter of public record. And
want to do it in the 5 Democratic precincts. Isn't that a little smelly?
Smelly?
Well, it's like been there, done that. I know that we have a little biased crew over here, but being from Miami-Dade County and having gone through it, we had the press there. We had oversee this election, and I know that people didn't like the results, but even Al Gore has now accepted the results, and it's time for our country to get over, for the Democrats to move on. Now, you know what's interesting? What's interesting about these machines is that these machines are not Republican machines, they're not Democrat machines, they're not independent machines. They just count the ballots when people really put their little stylus through the hole. And if there's no hole there and the person did not vote, whose fault is it? The machine? I mean, how long are we going to drag this on?
But don't you all agree that we have to have a reform?
We have a clear winner, and that's the way our democratic process works.
Well, our democratic process doesn't work so well. I mean, let's get real.
If you want to get new machines, that would be fine, but it punishes Democrats the same way that it punishes Republicans and independents. It's not a machine that favors one party or the other.
Oh, well, so you know what? You can have the election, but it did favor your party. You got it. But it did favor your party, because your party, as I'm sure you guys will attest, had better machines, which did count the votes better because they were in richer districts.
Equal time. We have to have a little equal time. I mean, call me old-fashioned, but I think that an election is over when all the votes are counted. And however it comes out, it comes out. But, I mean, that's what democracy is about. So I hope the news media will continue this. I mean, this is America. We need to know the truth, and I support what they're doing.
But wait a minute, the news media are the ones that call the election inaccurately in Florida in the first place. And then, 3 hours, by the way, before the West Coast got the results, so that all the people in their cars on the way to the poll said, well, it's already done. And they failed to acknowledge Colorado early, which was already a Bush. So it's so biased. I don't trust the media.
Pardon me.
Let's get the WWF to do the recount.
I just want to say, as one who works on one of these networks, the fact that we screwed up does not mean that you stop counting the votes and you give the election to somebody else. Okay?
We have no problem.
The fact of it is, Bill, the fact of it is the entire state of Florida has electile dysfunction. I mean, they cannot... The machines don't work. So I say, let's count the votes, and we're going to know soon why Catherine Harris didn't want all the votes counted, because Gore won, and there's an imposter in the White House.
Well, look, it's been wonderful for
He may be an
Florida's
idiot, but he's not an imposter. That's not fair.
It's been great for Florida's economy. We have had the
accidental
rest there
president.
camped out since November. It's wonderful, and we're for it. If they want to continue, go ahead. We're not against that. We're just saying,
wanna know.
once the results are in, can
Right.
you guys get over it?
I agree
we
with
won, you lost.
I agree.
Let's get on with it.
You know what? I agree with you. I think it's over, and we should do it. But you guys could have a little more humility about how you got it. I mean, I don't say that this election was stolen, but I have said it fell off a truck.
Well, then I would say to the Democrats,
It fell off,
It
fell off a rider truck.
It fell off a truck.
then you've got to
The
do a better
Democrats
job
were like, have you seen
of
an election
teaching
around
people
here? So,
Now, like they say, they have these little old ladies in Palm Beach who can really play 5 cards of bingos. You know, they can play 10 lottery cards. They never get anything wrong. They can take a 25-cent mistake on a lunch order, but all of a sudden they can't punch a ballot. I mean, that's insulting to the voters. That's the voters know what they're doing.
And they voted for Pat Buchanan?
And some of them did. And some of them did. I think you need to reach out and do an education effort on those voters and tell them how to handle a ballot.
But the good
Everyone else needs
news
to know how
is
to
we
vote.
realize now that we have to revamp all the voting machines in America, and I think it's terrific that they
That's
give
right.
Ford
That's right.
and Carter, who know a little bit about the process. They're going to have them oversee the thing. Hopefully, this will never happen again.
Ford and Carter.
They're going to oversee it.
Wow. Talk about old people and voting.
Did you see them trying to punch?
Is that who was overseeing? I didn't hear that. Oh, Ford and Carter overseeing
Yes,
this?
and we know that it's going to cost billions of dollars to do it right, but I think we absolutely have to do it right.
Yes.
And you know what? If you're going to recount the 5 Democratic districts and precincts in Florida, why don't we just do the whole country?
No, I'm for that.
I have to say this to the whole country. We will be right back.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, brought to you by Nasonex.
Okay, we are here in Washington. One of the first things George Bush said when he got in there is he wanted to limit the number of abortions, so he has passed out condoms to Congress. I kid. Now, I don't know if this is because of... Thank you. Because of that, but Virginia, which is a very conservative state, is considering now a law where there'd be a 24-hour waiting period after a woman saw her doctor. And not only that, they would make her look at pictures of fetal development.
Well, as a registered nurse, I should remind you all that anytime we perform a medical procedure, let alone a surgical procedure, we have to have an informed consent. And as a feminist, my hope is to empower women by giving you information. It's called your right to know. So you have a right to know about the consequences. Excuse me just a minute.
Yeah.
You have a right to know about the risks, the consequences, and the complications of this surgical procedure, let alone the alternatives, which would be adoption. But you have to have information, you have to have time, because this is a life-threatening.
Well, can I just say this, as a woman, as a United States Senator, as a mother and a grandmother, and the mother of a daughter, I think this is the biggest insult to women that you could ever find. The idea that a woman needs the government to tell her how many hours she has to think about something as crucial as this decision, as private as this decision, as difficult as this decision, in other words, assuming that she hasn't even thought about it, that she hasn't thought about it. It gets me so upset at the big hand of big government. And Bill, what amazes me about these Republicans is they all say, let government get off your back, but they want to be in your private life.
Well, Barbara,
and I'm against
I find it interesting.
Trying to shut
I
them
find it interesting also as a mother of 2 teenage girls.
Me too,
Why
grandmother.
liberals who say they want government off their backs too, why are they so in favor of waiting periods for gun purchases, for example? I happen to be in favor of waiting periods for gun purchases, but isn't that an insult to everyone who wants to buy a gun? Also, let me tell you that
Wait
there are... Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Let's just-
Now, do you know that if you sign a contract in many states to purchase a car, in many states it is a law that you have so many hours to back out of it. Do you know that if you sign up for the armed forces, you have certain periods
Liliana,
of time
you're
to back out of
stretching
the
this.
contract?
You go to
You
a
can
car
say,
dealership,
but
you're
you're
going
saying
to get
that
a car.
abortion,
Go to an abortion clinic,
that is
you're
not
gonna
as
get
an
an
important a
abortion.
decision
If I may.
as
Wait a
purchasing
second.
a gun, as purchasing a car, or as joining the
Somehow
army.
life is incredibly precious, except when the argument comes up and you have to make an analogy, and then it's a car, it's a gun, it's a bicycle, it's a fish, you know, I mean... What happened to life being so individual and precious and unlike anything else in the world?
I think that's what's driving this legislation.
I mean, talk about shooting a gun, all right? This applies only, do you notice, to one procedure and only to women. Why don't men have to wait 24 hours before they can get a Viagra pill and use it?
Well, let me tell you, because genetically we're talking about, we're talking about a taking of a human life that's already been formed.
I don't know if you
We're
were...
talking about the sanctity of a human life that's already been formed, whether you want to agree that it's a human life or not. I know that it's safer for you to think that it's just a piece of trash. But it isn't. It's a life, it's a beating heart.
Well, that's an insult.
No, then I want
That is an insult.
to, I want to follow your logic and point out that you're not starting early enough. You have to start at the moment of conception. So you have to say, I want to have sex. No, you can't. You have to wait 24 hours. I'm going to show you.
Now, wait a minute. And following that, why is it...
No sex.
Then
So you
why
wait.
is it...
24
Why
hour
do we
waiting
have
period
waiting
for
periods
sex.
for marriages?
It's a new law in
Why do we
Virginia.
have that? Why do we allow individuals who are in love? Why do we have waiting periods for marriage licenses?
I'm for a waiting period for sex. You got it.
You've got
I
it. A waiting period for marriage license. Same thing.
Bill,
Naomi Judd, the
First
floor
of all-
recognizes Naomi Judd.
first of all, I've been there. I worked labor and delivery, and I'm an RN. You look better in person, by the way, than you do on C-SPAN. Okay.
And by the way,
First of all-
it's CNN.
But you're also... People are always telling me I look better in person than I do on
Yes.
TV. I'm just saying because you're all
Yes.
career politicians, you look better on
Just
C-SPAN
a little
in general.
Bush charm offensive.
It works.
And it's working on Bill. I'm very worried about it.
This is the deal. Anytime that I find a woman in crisis, she needs information because that's always going to be your most valuable tool in dealing with any reality, and she needs time.
Yeah, but-
If I've got the flu, I don't make any important decisions. Okay. Now, over here, this is a life and death decision.
It's a gun, it's a
Now,
fish,
let's
it's the
talk
flu.
about-
The flu?
I'm saying you need time, and I'm saying that you have to arm yourself with information.
but there is no other surgical
No, let me talk
procedure.
about. Let me
Now
talk
you have to wait
about-
24 hours before you take a flu pill?
Let me tell you that the guy who devised the procedure of abortion, his name is Dr. Bernard Nathanson. He was a scientist, and after he realized what he had done, when he was shown the first ultrasound, and he said, oh my God in heaven, this is a living human being in its mother's womb, and he wept, and he was devastated at what he had done. It's kind of like the guy that invented the bomb. The ultrasound is now a very valuable tool in helping women understand their biology. It's all valuable information that we have to have.
Okay.
But women are
I'm
not
not a
stupid.
woman.
Yeah,
It literally gives you the whole
your
picture.
assumption is
Pun intended.
that women are stupid, and the state of Virginia, or the state of Florida, or the U.S. government, Jesse Helms and me and whoever else is in the Senate, is going to tell a woman, you're too dumb to make this decision. You
It
better
empowers
wait,
women with
and you better let the
information.
thought police come and talk to
Well,
you.
they weren't
I'm
very
against
smart
it.
to get pregnant in the first place.
I trust the women of this. I trust the women of this country.
well, now I'm insulted. All right, I got to take a break. You're the bomb.
Join us tomorrow when our guest will be actor and comedian Richard Belzer, Wisconsin Senator Russ Feingold, former presidential candidate Gary Bauer, and North Carolina Representative Sue Myrick.
All right, we got about 3 minutes. I want you to tell your stripper story because we have something in common. We both this year have frog marched someone out of a public place. I'll start it for you. You were in a restaurant, and at the next table,
Larry and I had just had a romantic evening. We had just finished dinner. I'm walking back to the restroom. He's waiting for the check. And literally, as I'm walking along, and this is in a family restaurant at the dinner hour, I mean, at 6:15 p.m., lots of families everywhere. It's packed. We go there twice a week. There's a guy. Maybe you can simulate this on Barbara.
Oh, never mind.
There's a guy.
a male stripper,
There's
this
a
is.
naked man.
So somebody hired a male stripper
The
in a...
girl's parents did
Right.
it. This teenage girl.
Okay.
So this
I think
guy
she
is
gets the
absolutely
idea. I
naked.
don't...
He's
okay.
This was not part of the deal.
serious.
Barbara, I said I'd protect you.
There were...
This guy
Let's
is
switch
naked, and
All
he's,
right.
well, he's wearing a Speedo. But I think he's completely naked. He's straddling this little girl.
Will you change seats,
They are
please?
Yeah. Sit down. Sit down.
they're bumping
Yeah,
uglies.
okay.
All right,
I mean,
got
they're
it.
simulating intercourse.
We know what a stripper is. We
All right.
don't have to, you know...
Handcuffed.
Now, the question
Handcuffed
is,
to her.
the question is,
Glad we didn't have to... yeah.
what was the problem?
Have you ever heard the saying?
Apparently, you haven't seen the guys at Miami Beach on Speedos. It's not a pretty sight.
No, I want to just say it could have been worse. It could have been a cell phone going off.
Well, now
It could have been somebody smoking.
This guy was simulating intercourse. I'm serious. Their pelvises were touching, and I mean, people are trying to eat. You know?
Wow.
Whatever happened to no shoes, no shirt, no service?
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
I had no choice.
And what I
I
think
just,
I had no
Is-
choice.
But-
I think he went to the wrong place, you know, by mistake.
Well,
Yeah,
what
I
is
agree. There was
amazing is that
something
the-
that you would see in a stripper.
Wait, this is
No, I
the
agree.
girl's 18th birthday or something like
Yes.
that? And the parents bought the stripper.
Yes, and the mother
the
was
girls-
standing there
not-
clapping and applauding
Oh, my.
while the man was simulating intercourse. A strange man was simulating intercourse on this little girl.
And did you
But
complain to the
here's the
management?
good
What
news.
happened?
Here's the
Don't
good
come
news.
over here anymore.
I'm not going to.
No. I'm scared of her.
I agree.
Here is the
Have
good
to
news.
strap you down.
Yeah. The good news is this would never have happened in the state of Virginia because they would have had to made her wait 24 hours before the guy came out.
Have to take another commercial.
And would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect, call 323-575-4321.
All right, Naomi, thank you for that story. Do you want to?
Well, I was just saying, Barbara and I obviously have very different core values,
up.
but I think we do have something in common. I want to go see the vagina monologues. You want to go with me?
Tomorrow,
No.
Richard Belzer, Senator Russ Feingold, Gary Bauer, and Representative Sue Warren.